Good day, children. Hope you all are safe and fine at home. Yes, I am Radha, your English teacher. Children, in today's class, we're going to talk about a teenage boy who has lot of dreams about his life. And of course, his parents are really motivating him to come up in his life. Okay, so now here this person, that is his name is Michael, who is very much interested in sports. And here the whole chapter talks about the feeling of an athlete, the feeling of an athlete. Okay, so now here what happens, he is a teenage boy who wants to come up in his life, who wants to achieve something in his life. Okay, so let us start studying the lesson. The name of the lesson is True Height. Children, true height here, which means the whole personality of this boy, the whole personality of this Michael. It is not about the true height. No, it is not talking about the physical height. It is talking about the whole of his personality. That means true height here. Okay, now let's start the lesson. In the story, a 17-year-old boy clears the bar that is set at 17 feet 6.5 inches and gets the first place. But true height refers to another kind of height, his whole personality. As I told you, true height, which talks about a 17-year-old boy of his whole personality. Okay, now here, cleared the bar, which means he has cleared the first step of his sports and he's getting to the next level. Okay, so in the first round what he has cleared 17 feet 6.5 inches. So now here the lesson is talking about a sport which is related to pole vault. Children, pole vault, a sport in which you use a long pole to swing over a high barriers. I repeat, it's a sport, okay? Pole vault is a sport in which you use a long pole to swing over a high barrier. This chapter deals with pole vault sport. You can take a look, okay? It is in page number 16, chapter number 6, True Height. Okay, now this is the image which I have shown you. Okay, now this is a pole vault sport and he is very much interested to win in a competition. Yes, his palms were sweating. A glass of iced water quenched his thirst but hardly cooled his intensity. The turf he sat on was as hot as the competition he faced today at the National Junior Olympics. The bar was set at 17 feet. That was 3 inches higher than his personal best. Michael Stone confronted the most challenging day of his pole vaulting career. The stand was still filled with about 20,000 people, even though the final race had ended an hour earlier. Now, as I told you, the lesson talks about Michael, which he is going to participate in pole vaulting, and that was the turning point of his life, he says. Okay, so now he says, because of the competition, my hands are sweating and I am nervous and I wanted to achieve something in my life. So he wanted to win a game. win in this sports. So he was absolutely tense and very nervous, and all his palms started to sweat because of the tension. And he attended the National Junior Olympics. Okay, he was a competitor. The pole vault is truly a glamorous event of any track and field competition. Here he says the pole vault is a very truly glamorous event. The sportsman combines the grace of the gymnast with the strength of the bodybuilder. Children, I hope you all know what is a gymnast. Okay, he is a very well bodybuilder. Pole vaulting also has an element of flying, and the thought of flying as high as to storage building in a merry fantasy to anyone watching such an event. That day is not only Michael Stone's reality and dream, it is his quest. So now here, as I told you, the image of pole vaulting, it was his also dream to achieve more higher and higher as this game is. Now this game, there is a pole and he has to almost swing onto that. In the same manner, even his dream was to achieve more and more. As long as Michael could remember, he had always dreamt of flying. Michael's mother read him numerous stories about flying when he was growing up. Children, usually mother's role is to tell a story of what the reality is, what had happened. Yeah, usually even your parents would have told you this happened long time ago, my generation was different and all that. But here, Michael's mother always used to tell him the story of flying high and high. It means which mother wants Michael to come up in his life. Okay? Michael wants his mother to come up in his life. So she always dreamt that. And also Michael had lots of dreams that I must fulfill my mother's dream. I must come up in life. Her excitement, whose excitement? Mother's excitement. Her excitement and passion for detail made Michael's dream full of color and beauty. So now I repeat the sentence. Her excitement and passion for detail made Michael's dream full of color and beauty. He could be running down a country road. He could feel the rocks and chunks of dirt at his feet. As he raced down the golden lined wheat field, he could always outrun the locomotive passing by. He could begin soaring like an eagle. Where he flew would always coincident with his mother's story. His dad, on the other hand, was not a dreamer, but Stone was a realist. He believed in hard work and sweat. As I told you, Michael's mother used to read many stories how to come up in life and how to succeed in life. On the other way hand, Michael's father was not a dreamer. He was a realistic. Realistic means he doesn't want to dream. He wants to achieve first. That was his motive. Okay, so now here what happened? Father and mother encouraged Michael to achieve something in his life. Father was a realist and the mother was always dreaming about Michael, that he should come up in life, he should win in any of the events. Okay, all this was happening in Michael's journey. From the age of 14, Michael did just that. He began a very careful and regimented weightlifting program. So now he made up his mind from the age of 14 that he should have a rigorous practice on weightlifting, how to build the body, how to make himself confident, and he set his mind firm. Yes, I want to achieve. Children, regimented means strict and organized way. Regimented means strict and organized. Okay. From the age of 14, Michael did just that. He began a very careful and regimented weightlifting program. Now he started the program of weightlifting. He worked out every day with weights and did running work on alternate days. Alternate days means leave one day and carry forward. Like leave one day and do one day. Do the exercise, do the weightlifting and one day gap. One day weightlifting, one day gap. That is alternate days. The program was closely monitored by Michael's coach. Now here Michael's coach was also monitoring that Michael is doing the weightlifting accordingly. Trainer and father, these trainer, father were having an eye is Michael working on the weightlifting program. Michael's dedication, determination and discipline was the coach's dream. Now here Michael was so much dedicated, so much determination. He had in his mind, yes, I am going to work out, I am going to do my best. Yes, he never gave up, although it was difficult for him to do the weightlifting program, but still he was so dedicated, he was so determined and disciplined in a coach's dream. Besides being an honored student, Michael continued to help his parents with their farm chores. So although Michael was busy with his programs, with his sports activities, he also helped his parents to do the farm work and the chores, means household work and as well as the farm work. His persistence in striving for perfection was not only his obsession but also his passion. Children, it was not like he was forced to do. No. Yeah. Initially, father and mother cultivated the habit in him that he should come up in life. All these words, it stuck into his mind and he decided, yes, I want to do it. And now it has become his passion. He was not forcefully pushed into that athletic, that is the sport. He came himself with lot of interest, with lot of passion. Milfred Stone, Michael's mother, wished that he could relax a bit more and be that free dreaming little boy. All Michael's walls today seem to be the reward of his hard work. So now because of his all hard work, what had happened? He cleared the bar of 17 feet 2 inches and 17 feet 4 inches and became one of the final 2 competitors in the pole vaulting event at the National Junior Olympics. Now here what happened? As Michael had a rigorous practice, lot of hard work and of course his coach and father monitoring him, he has succeeded in the pole vaulting of the height 17 feet and 2 inches and 17 feet 4 inches. He became one of the final competitors, means he was almost in a final stage to win the competition. Why, children? Because of his hard work. Constant preparation, of course, constant preparation means continuously preparing for the competition, and determination were his strengths. Now here what he says, I am being practiced every day. I am doing a rigorous program practice every day. That is only the reason I got the strength to give my best. As he lay on his back and heard the crowd groan, he knew the other vaulters had missed his final jump. Now here all the audience who were there, they started to shout with a loud sound and tone that Michael is the finalist and he is going to win the game because of his achievement. All of them started to shout with happiness. He knew the other vaulter had missed his final jump. The other person who also came into the final, the other person missed the final. Two people came to the finalists, right? One jumped for 17 feet 2 inches, and here the other one, that is Michael, who jumped for 17 feet 4 inches. 2 inches were the difference. Now, as they were getting into cleared the bar, that means they had finished that level of the competition and they have got into the final level of competition. So now here what happened, when the other person was trying to do that sport, like Michael got to know he missed the jump. So now it's only Michael's turn to go ahead. He knew it was time for his final jump. Now all set. Now it is Michael's turn to go for his final jump. Since the other vaulter had fewer misses, Michael needed to clear his walls to win. And now it's Michael's turn to win as that another person missed the jump. A miss would get him second place. The person who missed jumping, he was in the second place. Nothing to be ashamed of. But Michael would not allow himself the thought of not winning the first place. I repeat, a miss would get him second place. The person who missed got the second place. Now nothing to be ashamed of. But Michael would not allow himself the thought of not winning the first place. He rolled over and did his ritual push-ups. He found his pole, stood up and stepped on the runway. That led him to the most challenging event in the 17-year-old life. Now all this is happening when he was 17 years. His journey he's expressing and he's all set for the competition. What's happening here? He rolled over and did his ritual push-ups. He found his pole, stood up and stepped on the runway that lead to the most challenging event of the 17-year-old life. The runway felt different this time. He startled him for a brief movement. The bar was set at 9 inches higher than his personal best. That's only inch of the national record. He thought the intensity of the movement filled his mind with anxiety. Now it was his turn. Now he has to struggle to reach the pole and swing on the barriers. Now what had happened, he started to feel anxiety, means what he started to get worried about at that turning point of at the time. He began shaking off the tension from his body. It wasn't working. He became more tense. He began to get nervous. He had never experienced such feelings before. Now he says he's so nervous, he's so anxiety, he's so tense because of the time of the competition. Generally, even we will feel the same, children. When it is our turn, we get so nervous, all our bodies started to shiver, shaking, nervousness, whatnot happens. The same thing even happened to Michael here. He had never experienced such feelings before. Then, out of nowhere and from the deepest depth of his soul, he thought of his mother. So at that point of time, he could not think of anything except his mother. Why now? What is his mother doing in his thoughts at a time like this? Now he himself asked, why am I thinking of my mother? Yes, I am thinking of my mother because it is simple. His mother always used to tell him to take a deep breath when he felt tense, anxious, or even scared. I repeat, at that moment, why is he thinking of his mother? He says, it is simple. Whenever I am nervous, whenever I am tense, my mother used to tell me, take a deep breath. I hope you know what is a deep breath. Even you children, when you are very much worried, when you are very much tensed about something, you can take a deep breath to relax yourself. That is what at that moment he thought of his mother. So he did. Now he took a deep breath. Along with shaking the tension from his legs, he gently laid his pole at his feet. He stretched out his arm and upper body. He started to get a warm-up. The light breeze that was once there was gone. He could feel a trickle of cold sweating running down his back. He says that I can feel the sweating. Usually when you are sweating, there's a pinch of sweat getting down at your back. He carefully picks up his pole. He felt his heart pounding. He was sure the crowd did too. The silence was defending. When he heard the singing of some distant robins in flight, he knew it was his time to fly. So the final edge of the movement, all his tension came down. He started to lift the pole and he's ready to set for the competition. As he began sprinting down the runway, sprinting down means, children, running at a very high speed, but for a short period. Okay? Sprinting down, running at a very high speed, but for a short period. As he began sprinting down the runway, something felt wonderfully different, yet familiar. The surface below him felt like the country road he used to dream about. The rocks and chunks of dirt, the vision of golden wheat fields seemed to fill his thoughts. When he took a deep breath, it happened. Now, as he took a deep breath, which was told by his mother, everything calmed down. Now he thought, yes, it is my time. I am going to fly high. He began to fly. His takeoff was effortless. Michael Stone was now flying, just like his childhood dreams. But this was real. Every time was moving in a slow motion. The air around him was the purest and freshest he has ever sensed. Michael was soaring with the majesty of an eagle. Now, yes, all set to go. Now, Michael forgot everything. Now he feels, yes, I have always dreamt to fly high. Now, this is the time to fly high. He himself started to motivate himself and he started to fly. It was either the eruption from the people in the stand or the thump of his landing that brought Michael back to earth. On his back with that wonderful hot sun on his face, he could only imagine the smile on his mother's face and hear his dad's laughter. What he did not know was that his dad was hugging his wife and crying harder than Mildred had ever seen before, shedding the tears of pride. Now here what happened? He won in the competition. Father, that he could not control his emotion, he hugged his wife and started to cry that my son has really taken my name, and he started to fly. It means even a father and mother was very, very happy. Why? Because Here Michael has won and he has flown away. Michael was immediately swarmed by people hugging and congratulating. Now, as he won in the competition, when he came down, everyone started to congratulate him and everybody started to hug him on his greatest accomplishment of his life. Of course, children, because of all of his hard work, all of his practice, all of his parents' motivation, he has succeeded. He has been accomplished in his life. He later went on to clear 17 feet 6.5 inches that day, a national and international junior Olympics record, a national and international junior Olympic record with all the media attention and heartfelt congratulations. Now all of them started to congratulate him because he had won in the competition. Michael's life would never be the same. Why, children? If his parents wouldn't have appreciated, if his parents would have motivated, encouragement is very, very important, right? So he says here, Michael's life would never be the same. It wasn't just because he had won the National Junior Olympics and set a new world record, and it wasn't because he had just increased his personal best by 9.5 inches. It was simply because finally Michael Stone was blind. Children, I read out this point for you. Finally, Michael Stone was blind. I'm sure that you wouldn't have even guessed that Michael was blind. Yes, children, Michael was blind, born blind. Okay? So his parents motivated him. His parents always used to encourage that you are perfect. Although you are blind, you can achieve something. The whole story, nowhere they have told that Michael was blind. But the turning point here that we all should learn from him, he never gave up. Although he was blind, he never gave up. He came up in his life. So here, children, even for us it is a lesson. Although we are physically fit, we forget to do many things. To achieve something. So all of us should have a motto, should have an aim. Yes, I want to do this, I want to do that. Only then you can achieve. Yes, you have to be organized. Organized means you have to plan accordingly. That when I come to 10th standard, when I go to college, I should do that, I should do this. Always be prepared, or always be planned and organized. Okay, so now this is a beautiful lesson which talks about the true height, not about the physical appearance. It talks about the whole personality of Michael's life. Although Michael was blind, he has really achieved something in his life. Okay, children, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. So now we will just take a look at the meanings. Yeah, pole vault, a sport in which you use a long pole to swing over a high barrier. Confronted, face up to and deal with. Yeah, Michael was very much confronted, means he was ready to face the challenge. Quest, search for something. STH means search for something. Quest, search for something. Autumn, run or travel faster. Run or travel faster. Splintering down, running at a very high speed, but for a short period. Regimented, strict and organized. Regimented, strict and organized. The character of this story was Michael's father and Michael's mother. Okay. A bird's eye view, this is an idiom, an expression which is used in the lesson. A bird's eye view, view of all the aspects of something. Okay, view of all the aspects of something. Okay, children, feelings of an athlete. Now here the whole story relates the feeling of an athlete. Cleared the bars, as I told you. He has cleared the step and he is going to the next level. Okay, children, I hope you understood this beautiful lesson. Thank you.